Yo guys, what is going on? Alex Pandrea here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to teach you a very simple yet visual color change, show you my variations on it, what I've come up with along the way of performing this change, and also teach you a very simple quick trick at the end. Now, it is summer, so what better thing to do than introduce the new Summer Knox. Now, it's been a few years since we've released the Summer Knox, and we've done it a little bit different this year. We've changed up the colors, we've added two new vibrant colors to the mix. These cards will officially launch this Sunday, July 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time on houseofplayingcards.com. We have a very exciting event, a few surprises as well, so stay tuned for that this Sunday on houseofplayingcards.com. For now, let's go grab our decks, let's go film some color changes, and then let's teach you how it's done. There are three versions of this color change that we will go over. The first one is the more popular one that you might know. The second one is my variation on it, switching up a few things to maybe make it seem more natural. And the third one is the variation on the variation. All right, quick note about this color change. This is the type of move that will always look better in person than it does on camera, right? So if you're one of those rare magicians that has friends to perform for, this is definitely something to be added to the repertoire. Can I help you? This is my friend. This is who I perform for. She loves the color change. Buddy, watch the 8. Boom! Huh? Huh? No? Nothing? So this change is based off of a popular change, and it looks something like this. You take the queen, you just shake it and twirl it, and it changes to the 4. Now, I've always liked this change. It's a very easy visual change to perform, and it's very visual, right? But I just didn't like the fact that sometimes you would have it in this strange position where you would pick up the card and have to reposition your fingers right here. Sometimes it covers the card too much, and then when you do the twirl to do the change, it would end up in some different position, right? Because in all honesty, it is a different position. You're holding it by the pips right here, and when the change happens, now you're not. Now, it's not such a big deal at all. This is just magicians, you know, trying to micromanage everything. At least I try to do for my own sake. But in this case, I like the change a lot, but I wanted to take it up a notch, so I have a few different variations. We're going to get into this change plus the other variations right now. So the idea of this is that you have two cards that are back to back. That is going to make the change, right? So you have the top card here, you turn it over, and you pick up two cards just like that. Now, an easy way to do that is when you turn over the top card, you show it, you get a break, just a little pinky break, right there on the second card, which is now the top card, holding this card, and as you show it, right? So you can show it, you could even bring your hand down for a second, push this off, and just get a pinky break, and then again show the 4, placing it on top, and pick up both of them as one. All right. The one that I like to do is just kind of here, show it, and then dribble as I point, and you just dribble and you hold off 2 cards just like that. It takes a little bit of practice, but I think it's nice to do because it's also a get ready for a double lift, right? So you come here and you just learn to dribble and stop at the 2 cards, all right? So work on that. I think it's very useful. But so here we go. You do this, you grab your double, and now you're gonna come middle finger on the, as you're looking at it, top left corner, and then thumb on the bottom right corner, just like that, all right? Now, the hand motion is you're gonna shake, and then the finger motion is you're gonna twirl. All right, so your index finger comes out and twirls this towards yourself, pulling it towards yourself as that rotates. All right, you wanna start off in this position because if you're starting off in this position, it's harder to grab, you know, you can't do that and grab that corner. So you're gonna start in this position, grab, and then pull. Now, an important note is that you wanna do this under the guise of shaking, all right? So the bigger motion covers the smaller motion. But in this case, what you don't want to happen is for you to shake the card. It's because this is what happens a lot of times. Shake the card, and then when you're ready to do this, this is very obvious because you either stop shaking to get in position, and then you do the move, and then you continue shaking again. All right, waving your hand. And that's what I see a lot done. This is sometimes what I see in my performance if I'm videoing it. I tend to notice these things. So the way that we want to get over that is shake and don't let up on the rhythm of the hand. So as you're shaking, you're not letting up on the rhythm. And even you can increase the rhythm while you do the move. So you're here, but you want to balance. You want kind of like a bell curve to this. You start maybe small, and then you shake, and then you twirl in the middle of it, like this, and then you come back, and then you slow down a bit, put these on top, which is going to get rid of that second card, and you are good to go, right? So that's the actual motion of it. So it's here, here, and here, all right? So watch the 4. If I just shake, it'll turn into the queen, and then you slow down as the reveal happens, and you place it down that way, okay? So that's the first idea of it, but let's take it up a notch because I really want to explore more natural ways of doing card magic, at least in my own magic. So I wanted to see if I can do the change the way that we would usually hold a card when you kind of pull this off in sort of a biddle grip type action, where it's more natural than having to reposition. So I started playing around with this. You have the 2 cards, same thing, and you're going to grab now the middles of the cards, right? The top and the bottom middle, just like that. So now we're going to do the change like this. As we shake, we are going to twirl everything, and it's going to come back in the same exact position, obviously trying to keep that all aligned, which is a little harder. You're going to need to practice this more than the easy sort of self-working version. But this sort of makes it a little bit more natural. At the start of the change and at the end of the change, your hand and your fingering position should be in the same place, okay? So you have 1 card, and let's do 7 to a 7. Boom and boom, just like this, all right? You want your other fingers, and you don't want to have your hand up like this. You want to kind of have it a little bit angled to your right side, okay? So take a look at your elbow over here, how it goes up and down, all right? And now grab it. And now you're going to bend it just a little bit so that, and also the bend helps even in this position to get your finger there if you have maybe smaller hands or a shorter finger. But nonetheless, you're going to grab it here, and I just kind of give it a little bit of a bend so I can get my finger there, okay? Because sometimes if you're just not there, it will be harder to do. Now the wave itself, you're gonna wanna play with doing it from the wrist, but also moving your whole arm. So your whole arm kind of goes back and forth. You see how it's just like spaghettiing around like this? Try different things, see what works best for you, film yourself, see what looks better on camera, but also keep in mind, this is something very important, it always looks better in person than on camera, okay? Because the camera has maybe a higher frame rate than your eye does, and your eye sort of blinks around. So it's here, boom, boom, first finger here, just a little bit curled down. Start the wave, and as you wave, your first finger comes out, starts to twirl. Now here's the most important part, because this is where it's gonna split. If it will split, this is the time it'll split. And sometimes you'll have this happen where your fingers now are underneath the card. So you're going to end up with something like this, right? Which is not what we're going for, because we want the hand to be in the same position as it was when it started, right? Makes sense. So the way that we're going to do that is as we're twirling, now you're going to push down further with this and kind of kick your hand up so that it pivots around and goes back on top this way. You don't want to end like this. You want to end like this. All right? So here, push down a little bit further as your hand comes up a little bit and pivot that around. All right? And as far as this splitting, you're just going to have to work on it, see where the position makes the most sense. To start off, instead of being in the middle, you could be a little bit towards your left, towards the top left pip, right? Like this, so that the twirl is easier, the finger position, the finger is easier to reach here as you twirl and then come back out here. The only thing with this is that you end up more to the right side, right? Because if it started off on the left side, now you're going to be more on the right side. But then you can work your way towards the middle, all right? So again, here, twirl, kick up with the hand and push down with the finger a little bit more, and a light touch with the fingers. You don't want a death grip on it, and then continue to shake, okay? So here, here, and you have a nice change that way, all right? So an interesting story before we learn the last variation and a quick trick that I want to show you. The name Knock for the Knock playing cards obviously stands for something, but the way that I wanted to brand it 10 years ago now at this point, we launched the first Knocks in 2012, I wanted to come up with a name that didn't sound boring and just standard, right? Now initially I wanted to call these just standard playing cards, right? That was my initial thought. But then I thought to myself, no, I need a good, simple, short name for this. Now, I had a friend at the time, his name was Michael Nachemson, and he worked on Wall Street, and anytime he would go out to these fancy dinners with all the Wall Street people, he would invite me over, I'd do magic for them, and he always had his reservation at the restaurant as just Knock, very simple, N-O-C, for his last name, Nachemson, and he would text me up and be like, hey Alex, the reservation is under Knock. Now, and he wrote it in capital letters, and I was like, oh, sounds pretty nice, pretty cool. And that kind of got stuck in my head. Now, going back to Knock playing cards, I was thinking, okay, what can I do that's short and sweet? And NOC also stood for the particular something that it stands for now. So I used the acronym, but because Knock was in my head, I branded it as Knock. Now, I recently spoke with my good friend Knocky, as I like to call him, or The Knock, and he sent me his new limited edition summer t-shirt. Very nice, comfy t-shirt, matches the summer Knock vibe. And he kind of created this t-shirt just for fun for the summer shore. Each year there's gonna be a new limited drop. So if you like the shirt, you can check out, link down in the description below. I figured I'd shout him out because he was so kind enough to lend me his name, sort of, for the branding of Knocks. So there you go, summer shore shirt, link in the description. Now let's play around with the different grips because this is a nice grip, but then I also realized that you can do it like this, which will show more of the card, because again, this can be very covering, right? So you can, especially if you're doing it like this and you can't get your finger here, you want to start here, you're covering a lot of the card, and especially if you're tilting here, so you can't see much of the card. So this is why I want to play around with now this, all right? So instead of here, you're grabbing it the exact same way, but you're just twisting it counterclockwise, boom, and you're grabbing it, and now we're going to do the same thing. We're twirling, or we're waving, we're twirling, we're shaking. Good misdirection. You don't want to be, do it like a crazy madman. Just kind of get your rhythm down here. First finger pulls this around, and now I think this is much easier, to be honest, because you have a lot of cover over here, or rather a lot of card for your fingers to kind of come up on. Push down and keep waving. All right, so that's just another way to do it. So those are the variations. And I like this because you can show the 7, do a little bit of a wave first, point to it, and now when you grab it to do the change, you can kind of cheat and come up a little bit. Boom, do the change, wave, and now reposition. All right, so it's here, and this is good when you have sort of a larger audience, especially an audience to the right side that, again, may have been covered by this change. Now you can show it sort of all the way around, do the shake, come back here, place it on top, thumb this off, and you have it. So the last variation that I want to go over for this change is bringing up the cards here and doing the change this way rather than holding it down and having everybody look downwards at the card. You can bring it up more of a stage view where people are around if you're doing this on stage or something, or just if you have more people and you want to show more of the card. This is nice because doing it this way kind of, covers the card with your hand, but doing it this way shows the full card to begin with, and as you wave and you do the change, then you have again the full card being shown. Okay, so it's a matter of bringing it up to here. This way your face is in the shot if you want to do it on video or something. So you're here, here, and here, and then you can bring the cards back onto the deck. and get your round of applause. So here's the way that I like to perform this. You have 2 cards selected, okay? And the 2 cards will come in, let's say the King of Diamonds and the 5 of Spades. You're going to control that second from top, or rather have a top card cover, okay? So you can do a sort of a bluff pass, get the 2 cards in, do this, do a cover pass, whatever it is, but you want the 2 cards right there, second and third position. You're going to show the top card and say, is that it? They're going to say no. And now you're going to come out here, and instead of grabbing 2 cards, you're going to grab 3 cards, all right? So boom, and you're grabbing the 3 cards just like this, and you're lifting up, all right? So now you're going to do the change the first time. Watch the 6. It'll turn into the king. That was your card, wasn't it? Yes. But now what's really good is that you are in double lift position. So you have these 2 cards. Boom, show the king. Say, now let's see if you can do it. Hold on to this card. They hold on to it. They shake it. And then they turn their hand over. They scream, they cry. And they can't believe it because it happened in their hands. Now, here are my thoughts. You would think initially that the visual change would get more of a reaction than the double lift. However, in my opinion, it does not. Visual changes, I don't think, get as much sort of impact as if it happens in their hands with the double lift, or if you take your time, or if they do it. And you'll notice this, right? So this is why you do the visual one first, and then you put it in their hands and they do it, okay? So again, you're here, 3 cards, do whichever change that you want. Boom, that's the first one. And now look, you're gonna do it. Hold the 6. They shake it, and then they turn it over. And you have a nice little double kind of change, just like that. So yeah, there it is, something quick that I like to do with 2 selected cards and this change. Alright guys, there you have it. That was the video. Thank you so much for sticking around learning this with me. Hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoy the new Summer Knocks. Like I said, they will be on sale. HouseOfPlayingCards.com this Sunday. It's just a few days away. July 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. That's 1 p.m. New York time. We have a few surprises as well. Stay tuned for another video coming before launch. And other than that, thank you so much, and we will see you on the next video.